I know everyone is hotly anticipating the Nintendo Switch 2 and the big games that's going to be coming at the April Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, but Nintendo still has some unfinished business with the Nintendo Switch 1, as I've counted about a potential 11 games that could still be coming to the Nintendo Switch 1. Now, these games could be enhanced for Nintendo Switch 2, and of course, they're all going to be backwards compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2, but Nintendo still potentially could have a big Nintendo Direct this month in February that we have not heard about that could be announced coming up pretty soon here to show off these games that I'm talking about. So I'm going to break down the confirmed games that we know about, of course, and we'll go over briefly with those, the rumored games that have been around for quite some time and why they're probably going to be announced sometime soon, and then of course one secret game that has been teased by someone who's gotten some stuff right here and there. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Nintendo, and more like Monolith Soft is slightly teasing, showing off more information about New LA and some of the areas that you can go to and other things. So it's actually pretty cool what they're doing. They're going to ramp up the coverage, but they've still not revealed some major details about this. For example, how you're actually going to access the new content with the new story parts that are in there. Is it going to be a separate selection from the title screen? Is it going to be intertwined into the game? How is it going to work? Also, the online play. What upgrades and additions are they adding to this feature when it comes to the online play and how it works with the Nintendo Switch Online compared to what they did before? So that is still something that they have to detail overall, and I'm definitely looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition coming out on March 21st, but there's still probably one more big trailer set for that game. Next up is Pokemon Legends ZA. This game is a little bit of an enigma. They haven't shown anything on Pokemon Legends ZA since they revealed it last year. This is the first time that I can count any time that I've been covering Nintendo in somewhat of the modern era, from the Wii and up, Nintendo DS I guess too, that they have not shown anything on an announced Pokemon game within a year's time of that game. That is crazy. So they absolutely have to show something talking about Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, this game could be at the Pokemon Presents first, and maybe they do something else with that. But Pokemon Legends ZA absolutely needs to be discussed because it is coming out in 2025. Now, this could be a Nintendo Switch 2 game as well. So it's Switch 1 and Switch 2 or backwards compatible. There's updates, patches. We don't know at this point, but we know confirmed it's 100% Switch 1. So that's still another game that they have to talk about. Next up is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This is probably one of the most anticipated games for many people in 2025, and that game we've gotten 2 essential trailers on it. Well, the scrapped one, that doesn't really count. So we really only got 1 trailer, but the trailer that they showed was absolutely awesome. Classic Metroid Prime, but brought to a new modern era. Some twists and turns with Silas in there as well. What else will Samus be able to do? I did a breakdown of the trailer, and it kind of shows there's some new gameplay details and some new gameplay options that weren't available in previous Metroid Prime games that I think people are going to really enjoy. So check out that video if you haven't done so already. I'll put a link for it in the description below. But Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, we still need to see when that's coming out in 2025. This could also be a game that's also Switch 2 bound in some type of way, or upgraded or enhanced, so we'll see about that. But it's 100% a Nintendo Switch 1 game, and they have to detail what's going on with this game. And obviously they want it on Switch 1 as well, because Switch 1 has the install base. Metroid Prime has never been known as a massive seller, so it would be good to have it on as many systems when it comes to Nintendo's platforms as possible. Okay, let's move into the stuff that's been rumored for quite some time and what I think could show up as well. Speaking of Metroid, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, where are these games? They have been rumored for quite some time. We've been talking about it for years at this point, almost a whole Nintendo Switch lifespan. We finally got Metroid Prime Remastered a couple of years ago, and that was awesome. Now, this might not be in terms of as remastered as that one was. There are rumors that are saying it's going to be more of like an HD port, so think like Pikmin 2 and 3, or think something around the lines of the original Metroid Prime trilogy, where it's not going to be upgraded as much and redone with the graphics, but more just taking the game, putting it in 1080p. Maybe you put both of them on one Nintendo Switch cartridge and you say, here you go, here's Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3. I think that would be okay. I'd be down for something like that as well, especially if the price is like $40 to $50, just like how they did with Metroid Prime Remastered for the $40, and that was pretty cool. So I do think that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are happening. Now this one is more of a prediction from me, but I think that it's too good of a game to not talk about as well, or potentially have on the Switch and Switch 2, and that is Metroid Samus Returns. Leaving it on the Nintendo 3DS is just such a huge mistake after the success of Metroid Dread and 2D Metroid games. So I do see them porting over Metroid Samus Returns and potentially getting an announcement with Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, and Metroid Samus Returns. That would be a fantastic announcement for so many Metroid fans out there, and I would actually be most excited for Metroid Samus Returns and being able to play that in HD on a TV, bigger screen and everything, instead of the Nintendo 3DS. So that would get me excited. So I do feel that Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, all likely or possible when it comes to the big final Nintendo Switch 1 games in this direct. Next up are two games that pretty much you guys know we have to talk about, and that is The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD and The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Both of these games are a long time coming. We've been waiting for these two games, and I've been waiting for these two games. Everybody, when it comes to the Zelda universe, has been waiting for these games. The fandom, we all want to see it, and we don't know why it's been delayed so long, or they've held onto it for so long. I'm guessing because they don't want it to interfere with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and some of the other Zelda games that they put out there, like Skyward Sword HD, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and other titles. But it could be for other reasons. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I do think that this big final Nintendo Switch 1 Direct will finally have these two games that people have been waiting for quite some time. Now for me, I've already played and beat these games multiple times. There'd be several releases for both of these combined that Nintendo has done over the decades or so, but for me, I think that I would have to see them have a nice upgrade to Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, maybe 60 frames per second or something like that, for me to go back in and play it again, because I've already played and beat these games multiple times. But there are people who were not alive at the time when they came out, or maybe didn't get a chance to play them and would love to be able to play them anywhere that they want on their Nintendo Switch. So I do think that they are essential type of games in Nintendo's history, and they should be ported over to the Nintendo Switch, upgraded, enhanced, or whatever they want to do with them, so people can enjoy them on the Nintendo Switch, just like we've seen with Donkey Kong from the Wii, or just like we've seen with Skyward Sword, or just like we've seen with Metroid Prime, or all of these other games that have been brought over from previous systems. It's good to have them on your most successful system, probably of all time at this point. Actually, financially, most successful system of all time. But it will soon be the best-selling system of all time in Nintendo history as well. Now, next up is something that I've been talking about on this channel for quite some time, and I think I'll probably make a separate video on it as well, just to kind of discuss more in detail, and that's Fire Emblem 4 Remake. I mean, this is something that I've discussed so many times. I've got videos on it. I've been waiting for this game. Nintendo apparently has this game just waiting for us to play, or something like that. Every 2 or 3 years I need my Fire Emblem fix overall, so I'm just waiting for this to happen. It's been a couple years now since Fire Emblem Engage, and I do think that Nintendo has been holding on for this one, and we'll see what they actually decide to do with it. Fire Emblem 4, this is Genealogy of the Holy War, is considered to be what the modern Fire Emblems got a lot of their ideas based off of in terms of what you can do. It's a massive game, and it's fantastic. It's got a dark storyline. It's somber at the same time. It's, I would say, rejuvenating at times. It is an incredible experience. And if you put that in modern graphics and you put that on the Nintendo Switch, I think that's going to be a huge hit with Fire Emblem fans who have never played this game. And it's actually never been officially localized in English. There's patches to play it from the Super Famicom, but there's never been an official localization of this game. So I would love for them to finally bring this over and show it off what's going on with Fire Emblem 4 Remake. And I'm hoping that we finally get to see it at this final Nintendo Direct. Now, next up is a game that Mr. Nate the Hate actually talked about, and it does seem like it's happening, and that's Kirby Planet Robobot HD. This is one of the best Kirby games ever created, and one of the best Nintendo 3DS titles that have kind of been forgotten due to time, and it's being brought back. I know Kirby fans haven't forgot about it, and this is great. Kirby Planet Robobot is a fantastic game. I would love for them to bring over Kirby Triple Deluxe as well, although that game's not as good. But like I've stated many times before, and just like Samus Returns, man, there are so many good Nintendo 3DS games that are just stuck on that system. And now that Nintendo's completely shut off the store and everything like that, and it's getting really, really hard to find 3DS games, and the prices are starting to jump up significantly, this is the perfect time to start bringing over some of those Nintendo 3DS games. And I think that in the future, at some point, Nintendo will probably do a 3DS Virtual Console or 3DS NSO. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the dual screens and all of that, but there has been other games from the Nintendo 3DS and from the Nintendo DS that have made their way to the Nintendo Switch, and they figure out a way. So I'm guessing that Nintendo will have to figure out something there, and that could be a tier on the Nintendo Switch 2, a new tier, and of course pricing with that, with maybe GameCube or Wii or other systems that Nintendo will add to the Nintendo Switch Online in the future. So I do feel that Kirby Planet Robobot HD, Nate will be right about that. He's been right on so much stuff. Even when the Nintendo Switch 2 was to be announced, he nailed that. So I'm guessing that Kirby Planet Robobot HD is coming when it comes to the next big Nintendo Direct. Now, those are a number of games that we went over, but there's one more other game that I want to talk about. This was a rumor from PH Brazil, and this one might be the most exciting for some of you guys outside of some of the new stuff or whatever the case is, but there is apparently a beloved classic Nintendo franchise that is somewhat niche that will be making its return. The final new type of game that's coming to the Nintendo Switch that we haven't heard about before. And I'm not sure what this game is. Is it a brand new F-Zero? Is it a brand new Kid Icarus? Is it a brand new Golden Sun? Is it a brand new Wave Race, 1080 snowboarding? What is the game? These are all franchises that are classic, beloved, but somewhat niche to where they don't necessarily sell like that. You don't see them all the time. People don't talk about it all the time overall. But yeah, it could be any one of those or other franchises. Nintendo has a ridiculously deep, insane bag of IPs to draw from that would fit the beloved and somewhat niche type of descriptions that PH Brazil put out there. So I'm hoping new Kid Icarus would be lit. I'd love for there to be a new Kid Icarus game. He says that it's not like a remaster or a remake, it's a new title. So a new F-Zero, a new Kid Icarus, a new Golden Sun, a new Wave Race, a new classic IP or IP that you don't see a lot from Nintendo at times coming back. Some people have thought, okay, well, maybe it's Rhythm Heaven, maybe it's something like Chibi Robo, something like that as well, some of the more smaller niche type of games. And yeah, that could be it too. Those are beloved and somewhat niche as well. So it could be something along the lines of what I said, or it could be something else. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But Nintendo has a lot of IPs to go over, so really it could be anything, because beloved and somewhat niche fits a lot of games that Nintendo has done over the years. So we'll see how all of that works out. Now, there's also been some rumors about exactly when this Nintendo Direct will be, so I do want to go over that because we have some potential dates as well, and the dates are interesting for sure because they've gathered this from some of the maintenance time and all of that and kind of compared some of the possible Nintendo Switch Directs in terms of what they're coming. And what they've settled on here on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit page is that there's a possible Nintendo Switch Direct coming on the 5th, 12th, or the 19th of February. So I'm hoping that if they do have a Nintendo Direct, it doesn't fall on anything that I have to do, of course, because I would love to be there for the final Nintendo Direct to be able to kind of cover that and everything. So yeah, like it could be one of those days we're going to have to wait and see. They went over also the earnings releases from every year since 2019, and then the Nintendo Direct, and then the Pokemon Presents to kind of compare and do that, which I'll throw up on the page for you guys as well. So yeah, all this is very possible. You combine that with Nate the Hate also saying that, yeah, there is a Nintendo Direct that's coming up here that we could see here in February. And you look at the timing of when the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is, in April, and all of it is really starting to make sense here in terms of Nintendo revealing the Nintendo Switch 2 in January, having a February final Nintendo Switch 1 Direct to kind of wrap things up for the Switch 1, having a month off right there, having some games like Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and then boom, heading right into it at the very beginning of the month, April 2nd, Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. So I think that is a pretty solid plan for the first few months of the year. So what do you guys think overall about all the different games here that we talked about? Was there anything else that you would hope or you would think could be in this final Nintendo Switch 1 Direct for big first-party Nintendo games? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.